Magandang araw mga fellow gun enthusiasts. As many of you know, the PNP FEO has now issued this memo. It's already a few weeks back, requiring all existing firearms license holders here in the Philippines to migrate from the old PNP FEO website to the new PNP FEO website. So in case any of you are curious, this is the old PNP FEO website, and then, as many of you are now familiar, this is the new PNP FEO website. So if you want to check it out, I've included the links to these websites in the description below. You can find that at the bottom of this video in YouTube. So it's very important for us to do the migration as soon as possible, because the old system is now going away and it will be replaced by this new site. So this applies to existing users as well as new users. So if you're a new user, you just have to register to the new site, and if you are an old user, then you have to migrate to the new site, and you can do that by following these steps shown in this memo issued by the PNP FEO back in September 22, 2023. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, and we now know what these what the old and the new PNP FEO pages look like at the front, let's talk about the new forms. So there are now, well, from before we had three forms. Now we have a total of 7 forms. So I'm not really sure how that simplifies this process, but I suppose that there is now a differentiator, and the new forms are more specific to the type of application that you will be doing. So let's check out. All right, there are different color-coded forms, colors of the rainbow. Now it seems there are 7 of them. So let's check this out. So first off, let's look at this one over here. This is the new application for LTAP, or the license to own and possess firearms. So this only applies if you are a new firearms license to own and possess applicant. So you will use this just once, and after you get your LTAP, you will use a different form that looks just like this, but it says here at the top that it's renewal. This one is the blue, and this one is for the new application. So it should be noted with all of these forms that you need to notarize all of these form submissions. All right. So not only do you need the certification and undertaking, you can't just sign it, you have to notarize all of these forms. So before you submit it online, as part of the requirements, which you will have to take a picture of and send over there online, you have to have it notarized. Okay, so that applies to all 7 of these forms. So please be guided accordingly and make sure to have them notarized. So that's for the individual application for license to own and possess firearms. So checking out the next form, we have the firearms registration application form. This one is for a new firearm. When you're purchasing a new firearm, this is the form that you use. So it's just like the one before. I suppose my only comment here is that I think the PNP FEO should indicate an alternate address for these things. Before, you had more than one slot for an address, because some firearms users have more than one place of residence. So if you look over here, there are 3 open spaces here that you can use to make up to a maximum of 3 firearms purchases per form. So you can purchase 3 firearms per 1 use of this form, maximum of 3. But if you're going to just purchase one, you still need to fill out this form the same way. So again, don't forget to have the form notarized. So that's how it is for a new firearms purchase. Now moving forward, this is the new form for firearms registration and application. So this is for renewals, all right? So this is for an existing registration of firearms. Once they expire, this is the form that you use. Do not confuse yourself by using the first form. This is what you use for renewals, the yellow form. Same as before, except this time around you can renew up to 5 firearms, it seems, per renewal. Just do not forget that the price is gonna apply to every firearm, because every firearm registration renewal, every firearm is gonna entail a new card. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So even though you will use one form, you will still end up with multiple cards and multiple FA registration renewals at the end of the day. So that's going to entail a separate paperwork for each firearm, but you can use up to one form for up to a maximum of 5 firearm applications. So that's how it is over with this one. Let's check out the firearm registration application form for Class A light weapons. So before, it was the same form for all types of weapons, small arms, semi-auto rifles. Now they separated the Class A light weapons. Honestly, this does not really apply to most firearms owners because they don't have Class A light weapons, but this will definitely apply to those who have probably obtained them, well, very likely obtained them. That's the only way you could have really obtained them anyway. Before 2013. These are the Class A light weapons, so that's fully automatic firearms, and these are the firearms that for every operation of the trigger you get multiple discharges or multiple shots. So fully automatic select fire weapons. So very few will ever get to use this form, but if you were to use this form, take note that you can only renew Class A light weapons if you are a Type 3 and above license holder, as you can see over here. Now, in all honesty, this has been an issue since 2014 when the PNP FEO required all 5.56, 7.62, and other rifle caliber firearm owners to have at least a Type 3 license and above to register them. Now, I don't understand why this is so, because the law doesn't really differentiate that much from small arms, whether it's a 5.56 or a 9mm, but here you go, they implemented this anyway. And they've been doing so since, well, almost 10 years ago. So this is how you do it. So take note that this will apply if you have, for example, a fully automatic M16A1 or M4 or a similar type of a fully automatic assault rifle or fully automatic submachine guns and things like that. So anyway, that's what this form looks like. So please be guided accordingly. Do not use the normal registration form for Class A light weapons. There is a separate form for that, and this is what it looks like. So next up, we also have the firearms registration application form for transfers. Now, I think the many different forms can confuse many people now because they have all these forms for pretty much the same thing, but just minor differences. But anyway, this is the form that you will use to transfer. So if you're going to transfer ownership of your existing firearm to someone else, this is the form that you're going to use. If, for example, you have a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun and you want to sell it to someone, this is the form that you use to effect that transaction in the new online system. Now, do take note, you cannot transfer firearms to anybody if you have an expired registration. So make sure that before you transfer firearms to anybody, all of your firearms have updated registrations. Not a single one of them can be expired. So don't forget that, okay? So wag niyong kalimutan guys, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-transfer ng kahit anong firearms natin or magbenta pag meron tayong existing registration na expired. So kailangan i-renew muna lahat yon. So guys, there you go. Just don't forget that you cannot transfer firearms if you have an existing firearm registration that is expired. You must renew all of them. So this can be a bit redundant because it's entirely possible that you want to sell an existing firearm, and if the registration expires for just even 1 day, you have to renew it for another 5 years at a minimum before you can transfer it and sell it to someone else. So it's a waste of licensing fees and registrations, if you ask me. You should be allowed to transfer expired registrations just to reduce the cost burden on Filipinos, law-abiding Filipinos who have already are already having difficulty making ends meet. These are the working class Filipinos, but there you go. That's the system. We have to comply as per PNP FEO rules. So that's how it is, guys. You cannot transfer that. So just keep that in mind when transferring, and the transfer doesn't go through because you have an existing expired registration. So just use this form. You can transfer up to 3 per use of this form. So there you go. And you just have to fill it out the same way as you fill out the other forms. So next up, we also have a firearms registration application form for caliber 5.56 and or 7.62 small arms. So guys, just a differentiator with this and the other semi-auto or the other form that we had for Class A light weapons. This one is for caliber 5.56 and 7.62 semi-automatic small arms. They should have specified it in this form, but it just says small arms over here. Anyway, this is for registration of a new 5.56 and 7.62 small arms. So again, this is one of those forms that will only be used by those who are very privileged, like some people who were formerly presidents and even some senators, because there is an existing permanently temporary ban on 5.56 and 7.62 small arms, as I have talked to in this previous video. But this is how it is if and when we are all finally allowed, again, as per RA 10591, because it is allowed under RA 10591 for us to own semi-automatic 5.56 and 7.62 small arms, but this has been overridden by a presidential directive. Anyway, this is the form that you will use to effect that registration. Okay, so if you're gonna renew that particular type of firearm, if you're gonna renew the registration for that, I suppose you're gonna use the renewal form for FA registration. But for new ones, this is how you're gonna use it. This is the form that you will use to register a new 5.56 and 7.62 small arms. Okay, so just take that just be cognizant of that, because this one, as you can see, the red forms, very, very, very alarming color there. The red forms, like this one over here for 5.56 and 7.62 small arms, require approval of the Chief of FEO, Chief of FLD FEO. So it requires a lot more approvals than your average firearm, I suppose. So anyway, that's how it works. So the last form that we have over here is the individual application for license to own and possess firearms. So if before you had the form, the new LTAP form for new LTAP applicants, we also have a separate form now to renew an existing LTAP. So just keep that in mind. Do not be confused by these two forms. The one for new is colored blue. The one for renewal is colored green. That goes for the LTAP. applications. Okay, so this is the form that you will use to renew. I have posted all of these forms in the Facebook page of Philippine Ricochet Line. So if you want to download these and you want to fill it out for your use, you can get them over there. Okay, so there you go, guys. So I hope that these new forms will be of help to you, and I hope that this video is something that will help you understand more about the new, more about the old website and the transition to the new one, as well as the new forms that go with it. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and I will get to them eventually. And I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned a lot in this episode of Usapang Baril series. So thank you very much, everyone. And if you really appreciate this content, you can donate to the channel through Buy Me a Coffee. And of course, you can share this video. If you don't have the means to donate, that's fine. You can share it. I'll be very grateful for all of those of you who subscribe, share, and even those who donate. So thank you very much, and I will see you all in the next video.